In this video, I want to discuss how to properly set up your facility once you've actually either purchased your property or leased it and are getting it ready for licensing, and what you need to have in your home. So if you're interested, make sure to stick around. What is going on, everyone? I hope you're all doing well. If you're new here, my name is Serge. Welcome to the channel. To all my reoccurring viewers, thank you so much for all the love and support that each and every single one of you have shown me. If you have not yet, make sure to go check out the God Made podcast on most streaming platforms. Also, feel free to go check out Legion Assisted Living Academy on Facebook. That is a free group to join. Also, if you want to learn how to start your own facility from A to Z, make sure to go check out legionassistedlivingacademy.com. Also, if you want to book a one-on-one mentorship call, feel free to check out the links in the description. Or if you're looking to come out and just spend a day with me, again, you can check that out in the description of this video. Also, if you have not yet, make sure to go check out valleyalfventures.com. If you are a passive investor who's looking to be a limited partner in this space and in any of our future deals, make sure to go check us out. Also, if you're an operator looking to expand or potentially sell your facility here in Arizona, Florida, Texas, any of those areas, feel free to reach out to us, and we look forward to actually speaking with you. And now that the housekeeping is all done, let's go ahead and jump into the topic of this video. One thing that a lot of people always ask me, especially when I get on these mentorship calls, is what do I need to start having in my facility once I actually have a property purchased or leased and properly converted, right? Converting a property is a whole different topic, and I've made previous videos on this, and I also teach this in Legion Assisted Living Academy, so check that out and go check out any of the previous videos where I've done any type of walkthroughs, renovations, whatever the case may be. Make sure to go check it out. But with that, what do you need in your facility once you are actually ready to get licensed? Well, let's start off with furniture. Furniture is obviously one of the big ones, so having beds in all of your rooms. And even though licensing, at least here in the state of Arizona, only needs you to set up one room, it's good to just go ahead and start setting up all your rooms. So make sure, if your rooms are big enough, make sure you can get at least a twin size or even a full size bed, meaning like the full, not queen or king, but a full bed or a twin. And then also, if you can fit in a recliner, great. Residents love having recliners in their rooms, so if you can set that up, great. And then start maybe having a dresser. If you don't have a closet for whatever reason, a dresser or one of those nice closets that you can just set up portably in the room, you could also do that. So again, a bed, a nice recliner, nightstand, also just a night light. And then also another thing that you would want to have for your beds is obviously sheets, right? Sheets and blankets and pillows and pillowcases. Have about 2 to 3 sets per bed, just simply because you will be going through a lot of linens, especially with residents. For the elderly, you're gonna have to change out those linens pretty frequently. Another nice thing is to have is medical supplies. So make sure to start having chucks, which are essentially those dry sheets that you put on top of beds in case somebody soils themselves. Have those. Have a lot of sets of gloves. Obviously, have your medication cabinets all set up with all the different dividers needed for your residents once they start moving into the facility. So start having a lot of the medical supplies going. If you can have, anywhere, depending on how many people you're getting licensed for, but have probably about, if you're getting licensed for 10 people, have about 5 walkers, 5 wheelchairs, have all these different things in place for residents. Oftentimes residents do come to the home with a walker or with a wheelchair, but if they don't, you can start providing that as well. Also, another thing with furniture you want to have, I suggest in the living room, is having separate recliners. I made the mistake when I first started my very first facility, is that I got like just the regular sofas, the 2-person one and the 3-person one. Do not do that. Residents like to have their own space. They like to have their own chair. So putting their recliners in there and in the living room, if they don't fit in the actual bedrooms, put them in the living room and make sure that they are leather recliners. Do not get recliners that are cloth or any other type of material. Make sure they're quality leather and that they're comfortable, and they can actually, there's a lot of different types of recliners now. Some people and some families will actually have recliners that they'll bring with their loved one that can actually raise them up and help and assist with getting them out of the recliner. So again, furniture is pretty self-explanatory. With the actual dining room tables, typically people like to have a few chairs, but oftentimes, like I said, they're typically in wheelchairs, and if they're ambulatory, they will sit. But having good chairs that can just move in and out of from under the table is a great option. So keep that in mind. Make sure there's plenty of space and a big enough table to be able to allow people to be able to wheel under that table and have enough space for their wheelchair. So with that, that is pretty much on the furniture side. Now, again, utensils, you want to make sure that you have different variety of utensils. Make sure that if someone with Parkinson's ends up coming to your facility, that you have these soft touch utensils that they can utilize, because with Parkinson's, they do have these like specialty utensils for those types of individuals. You can start providing, what I like is like the not the plastic type of utensil, like I would say like plates, bowls, etc., but they are the nice, like very durable, good looking type of, do not get anything that has to do with like, that can break very easily if dropped. Oftentimes what I like to also give residents is their own, like what they give in the hospitals, where it's essentially their own cup of ice, and it's plastic and it stays cool for a long time. If they do put ice in it, or if they want to keep it lukewarm, they can keep it lukewarm. But make sure you have plenty of straws as well. This is another thing a lot of people don't ever factor in, but make sure you have plenty of straws. Make sure you have all the cooking ware that your staff is going to need, whether you hire a private chef to come in, or if you're going to go ahead and have maybe an assistant caregiver that can cook, do the cooking, etc. Also, you just want to make sure, depending on how many people you get licensed for, that you have plenty of storage to be able to actually provide, to put the food in, to put all the dry goods, etc. Oftentimes what people will do, all the dry goods will go out into like maybe the garage, or have a separate storage outside where all the dry goods would go. So make sure you have plenty of space, because you're gonna be feeding a lot of people. Now, as far as laundry goes, typically with anything 10 or above, meaning how many people you're gonna get licensed for, you maybe want to have 2 dryers and 2 washers, but typically if it's anything less than 10, you can get away with a dryer and washer for the most part. So keep that in mind. Another thing is to provide for, obviously, families and even residents, is make sure you have TVs in each of the rooms. Make sure you have a call button or some type of alert system in your house for these individuals to be able to alert the staff that's going to be working there. So those are just a lot of the bigger things that you're going to need in your facility before going and getting licensed. As time goes on, though, you will start adding things to the facility. Your staff is going to want, obviously you want to make sure you have like mop buckets, you got brooms, you have all the cleaning supplies. All of that will be included, but as time goes on, your staff will request certain things that they will need at the home. And for the most part, to get the home set up for licensing, that is what you're gonna ultimately need to have. And again, there's a lot of other things that I'm not mentioning because it's like a lot of nuanced things, but the best way to really put it is there's a lot of little nuanced things when it comes to the elderly and what you're gonna want, but it's typically the same stuff as if you're gonna move into a new home that you're going to need when you go to get your facility. Now, do I suggest all the beds be hospital beds? Those are quite expensive and can be out of budget for most people when they go to start the facility. But I will say, if you have the option to get hospital beds and a lot of like the different medical devices in your facility from the start, even having a Hoyer lift is absolutely crucial, right? Like if you could get that, it's an expensive piece of equipment, but it does get utilized oftentimes if you need to take somebody off the floor, or if they need assistance getting out of bed or into a wheelchair. A Hoyer lift is great. A lot of nursing, you see them in a lot of nursing homes and a lot of different places like that. But in a residential assisted living home, You don't see it as often unless they have like hospice type clients and people who are more wheelchair bound, bed bound. Typically those people will have to use a Hoyer lift, but it definitely helps a lot, especially with even really oversized individuals and obese individuals, to be able to assist them to get them turned, get them clean. So that's another, like I said, if you can get medical equipment in the facility from the get-go, again, you can do it over time, but it does help to be able to start providing that stuff for when individuals come into the home. So with all that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Again, check out all the links in the description. Again, check out Legion Assisted Living Academy if you want to learn how to do this from A to Z. I go into great depth in that. So with that being said, I appreciate you all, and I will talk to you all in the next one. God bless.